Hey everyone, welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. We're also live on the Kempire Radio YouTube channel, live on Facebook, the Kempire Radio Network on Facebook as well, live on Twitch, live on Periscope. Also, TikTok is following me. TikTok, head on over to one of those platforms and I'll definitely be able to see all of your comments. Let's give people a moment to get into the chat room before we begin. We're going to do a Real Housewives of New Jersey live recap. You will have an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts on last night's episode. If you follow me on TikTok, you knew we were watching it live together and I was providing commentary. We also went live last night to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta and some more information that came out. And now more information has come out in regards to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we'll be going live again later on tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to turn on those reminders so you don't miss out on that live a little bit later on. Right now, we're just going to be talking about the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Yesterday, we were talking about New Jersey's reunion looks. So if you missed that video, be sure to check that out as well. And just everyone had a different opinion on who had the best dress and who could have done better, who was better than who. Look, it is what it is. Hey to Diana. Let me just take a sip of this. I said I should probably start drinking more tea during my lives. I really should add honey to this, but look, it is what it is. All right. Ooh, I literally rewatched last night's episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey because it was worth rewatching. It also was really sad on how it ended, but we'll get to that particular point. But like I said, I want to give people an opportunity to get into the chat room. TikTok, head on over to the Kempire Daily or Kempire Radio YouTube channels. That way I'm able to see your comments on last night's episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Oh my goodness. Can you guys believe that The Real Housewives of New Jersey, they already filmed their reunion and we already saw the reunion looks yesterday. And now we're winding down the season. I don't even remember how many episodes this particular season has been, but it feels very short. Very, very, very short. And I have to say it was a decent season despite the pandemic. They did a good job of bringing enough pre-produced drama to keep us interested. If you haven't checked out my collaboration with Femtara here on YouTube, she did a reading of Teresa, and I asked all the questions that you wanted to know about her past, her present, and her future. So be sure to check out that reading of Teresa. Matter of fact, I'm going to post the link in the chat so that you guys can see it as well. Let me just do that now before I forget. Oh my goodness. And if you haven't subscribed to Femtara, be sure to subscribe to her YouTube channel as well. She posted a new video today talking about the full moon that will be happening, I think the 26th. So in just like 4 days, just 4 days, y'all. Oh, and I'm speaking of Femtara, did not see her in the chat. Look, and I wasn't doing because I know she was in there, but now to know that she's there. Let me post the link. I'll also be posting for those that are watching this afterwards. I will be posting the link in the description of this video, but it's perfect timing. We're going to talk about Jersey. Last night's episode, I mean, the heartbreaking ending with Teresa was a lot, but we'll get there. Let's first just jump into the very beginning. I have to say they focused a lot on Margaret this episode, and I'm glad because I don't feel like we've had a lot of interaction with Margaret this particular season. Yes, she's there, but getting her story, we really didn't get a lot. I thought we would get more from Margaret this season, but we really didn't. Yeah, we got little hints of that she's working on a book, and we got a couple of scenes, but it really wasn't about Margaret. It really was about, again, Teresa, Joe Gorga, Melissa Gorga, their family. Everything really was surrounded around them. I've said this before. I don't know if that's necessarily smart in the world of Bravo and Bravo executives and producers, because anything could happen, and Teresa and Joe and Melissa won't be a part of the show. Then what do you have? You just kind of have some nice people, but are they that entertaining? I really feel like the producers of Bravo have really pigeonholed themselves into the Real Housewives of New Jersey being all about Teresa. And don't get me wrong, Teresa has brought a lot over the years. But I remember in the very beginning of Jersey, it wasn't just about Teresa and her family. We had the Manzos. We had the, I can't remember Jacqueline's family's last name. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the chat. We had a variety. We also had Danielle Staub. Not that I'm on her back. I'm just saying we had variety that brought a lot to the show, and I don't think we really have that. Jennifer is definitely bringing a lot this particular season and the last couple of seasons, but at the same time, I'm not that invested in Jennifer and her storyline. I did like Jennifer in this particular episode, and we'll get to that. Let me just say hello to everyone in the chat. Hey, everyone, TikTok, head on over to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. That way I'm able to see your comments. I will only be sort of, oh, Loretta, but see, I saw that comment. Thank you, Mama. Let me take a sip. And Diana, thank you, Diana. Moderators getting me together. Thank you so much, Loretta. Yeah, so I kind of miss those days, and part of me wants to rewatch the early days of New Jersey because it really wasn't just on Teresa. And don't get me wrong, I like Teresa. I think she's important, but like I said, I feel like New Jersey has pigeonholed themselves into this being Teresa's show, and I don't think that's smart long term. But anyways, I digress. Let's talk about this episode, Black Dolores. And I know you guys still are a little shaky when I say Black Dolores. Black Dolores. So we see Black Dolores having a conversation with Frankie Jr., who I love. I love Frankie Jr. Yes, he's cute, but I love his relationship with his mom. He's definitely a mama's boy. And she tells him, you know, I didn't get a mammogram for the last 5 years. Damn. I don't know how you're telling other people to take care of their health and you knowingly did not go for your mammogram for 5 years. I'm just like, I'm looking at you with the side eye, and now something has come up and she's telling him this and he's upset because he's like, you should have told me this. You know, this is very serious. Look. But then the cynical part of me is like, is she just using this for a storyline? I would hope not. I would hope you wouldn't use something like this, like your health, for a storyline. That's not cute. I wouldn't play those games. I'm not into playing those reindeer games. Just saying. Where is my look? My black people understand. I gotta have moist lips when I talk to you guys. Femtaro says, all I could think of this episode whenever Giddy Teresa was in the scene was Pineapple Goddess. If you want to know why we call Teresa the Pineapple Goddess, go watch the video that Femtaro and I did. I posted the link in the chat. I'll be posting a link in the video after this live. So I'm not going to waste your time. Let's just jump right on into the episode. So as I mentioned, Black Dolores has a conversation with Frankie Jr. It's a very sweet moment, very quick moment. Then we go over to the Giudices, and Teresa, you know, that's the thing about Teresa. I love seeing her interact with her daughters. I feel like those are her realest moments because I think she is a great mom, and we already love Gia. Gia has grown up to be quite lovely. I mean, I remember when Gia was a little girl and thinking, oh my gosh, she's going to be the worst human being when she gets older, just because she was so spoiled. But she actually turned out to be okay and actually more level-headed than any of them. So she's talking to her mom and she's talking about her dad. And her dad, they call her dad. They talk about his new possible girlfriend. They talk about them both dating. And the girls are okay with both of them dating. And we're going to get to Louis. Look. Because we find out more about Louis in this particular episode. We find out about him. We don't find out the tea that I told you about. Anyways. So they have that little awkward exchange with the girls and him being on the phone. Look, I'm sure that Joe Giudice has multiple girlfriends. As he can now. He is a single man. Finally. Good for him. What else did I want to say about this? Nothing else happened in that particular scene. So here was a really lovely moment. This is why Jennifer is growing on me. I like the conversation that she had with Gabby. Gabby, you may recall in the last episode, was there when they were having the argument between Jennifer's father, her mother. It was just a very awkward scene. And then, you know, Dr. Bill told her, you know, to go to her room. So she goes in and checks in with Gabby. Gabby is definitely probably a fan favorite just because we've seen a few episodes with her and her own struggles in school and bullying and things like that. So it was a nice conversation because you know what, a lot of times these scenes seem pre-produced, and I'm sure it was somewhat pre-produced, but it seemed genuine what Jennifer was saying to her daughter on how she grew up and how she was scared of her mom when she grew up. And we've all talked about that. You know, We understand why Jennifer looks at her father as this god and her mom as like, the scary lady, because her mom had to play the bad guy most of the time because she was the one raising them while he was working. And understandably, he was working to provide a roof over their heads, but she had to play probably literally both roles of mommy and daddy, especially as the disciplinarian. And she clearly said in this episode that she was very frightened of her mother. And that's part of the reason why Jen is so, free with her kids, just being who they are and being like the fun mom and spoiling her kids. So it makes sense. It makes complete sense why Jen does raise her kids the way that she does. And I thought it was a sweet moment for us to see in this particular episode. Let me just post the link because I know you guys want to call in and share your thoughts because all of you disagree with me. It's all right. So let me just post this, call in and share. All right, I'll post it there. And of course, when you call in, please just be mindful that you're being respectful. We do have YouTube guidelines. We don't want to be demonetized like James Charles. If you didn't see that video, that just posted. Yes, he's been demonetized and he has 25.5 million subscribers. Can I just get 1 million? Can I just get 1 million of those? And then when I get the 1 million, I'm going to want 5 million. And then when I get the 5 million, I'm going to want 10 million. As you should. Just saying. Goals. All right. Let's get back into this recap. If you're just joining us, be sure to like this video if you haven't liked it already. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We do all kinds of conversations here. Breaking news, reality TV recaps. Later on tonight, we'll be going live again because more Real Housewives of Atlanta news came out. I did not plan. I was like, you know what? I have to record my podcast. A new podcast will be out tomorrow. I don't have time to be going live, but this information is just too good not to talk about. Just saying. It involves Nene, it involves Claudia Jordan, it involves Fallon. I hear that Drew Sidora owes taxes. Look, we have a lot to talk about. Lots to talk about. Okay. Let me backtrack just a little bit. So they're all getting ready for this yacht party. Margaret's hosting. Well, she's not hosting. This other lady, I believe it's the ghostwriter who owns a yacht, is invited the ladies to have a little party there to have Margaret read a chapter from her book. I thought that was lovely. I really need, after watching Below Deck, I'm like, I need to charter a yacht. I don't want to own a yacht just yet, but I would love to charter a yacht just for a week or two. Just a week or two. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I see you guys. Appreciate everyone being here. We're doing a quick live recap of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I'm not going to stay on long, so let me get into everything here. Yesterday, we spoke a lot about the Real Housewives of New Jersey and the reunion that has already been taped, and we were talking about the fashions. But let's just talk about, I think this is like one of the last episodes of New Jersey. I think we might have a couple more episodes, and then we get into the reunion. So the yacht party. I thought it was interesting at the yacht party. They all looked great. They looked better than they did at the reunion. I was like, wow. But anyways, it is what it is. Even Marge, I love the way her hair looked. I loved her sunglasses. I think Marge looked great at this yacht party for her book. Anyway, so at the yacht party, didn't anyone else notice the shade that Jackie threw at Teresa? Because when she saw the young deck or captain, I don't know what his role is on there. Femtara will probably know the right term for that guy. And she was like, Teresa likes them young and hot. I was like, okay, they're still frenemies. They are still frenemies because that wasn't the first time she shaded her since they made amends, which is okay. That's what the Housewives are for. You're supposed to shade them in your confessionals. It is what it is. I didn't think he was that hot. He was cute, but he wasn't that hot. I'm just saying. I mean, one thing I'll give her, Louis is definitely a cute man. He's an upgraded version of Joe Giudice, but he's a good-looking guy. They're actually a good-looking couple, but Femtaro predicted 5 months. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all I'm going to tell you. Go watch the video. I'll post the link again. Okay, let's get back into this. Okay, so at the yacht party, Melissa doesn't attend because she's sick. Whatever, who cares? So at the yacht party, this is where Teresa confirms her relationship with Louis. She doesn't mention his name. She just, they mention a particular place that, that they were going. And then Teresa's like, oh, yeah, I went there. I went on a date there. Okay, Teresa. So she feels more than happy to share the details of this new guy. Of course, Margaret's like, oh, now she's going to tell us everything. And at this place, this is a particular place. And Margaret said this in one of the after shows. She was like, she's denying that she slept with this man, but you mentioned the date that you went to. It's a place where you sleep overnight. Not to say that you're going to sleep with the man, but even during the yacht party, Black Dolores is like, look at her pre-gaming with the pineapple juice. That made me laugh because I looked at the pineapple juice and I didn't think anything about the pineapple goddess until Dolores pointed it out. Just saying. Yes, I'm drinking hot tea. I gotta keep these vocal cords together. I gotta record the podcast. New podcast, Kempire Radio episode will be out tomorrow. I talk all about what you love on here, but I'll be talking about it greasy and raw on the podcast. Just too many. I don't need to be demonetized like James Charles. Just saying. Okay, back into it. So she gets into all the details about this new relationship. She doesn't mention his name at all during it. I thought that was really interesting, but whatever. She seemed giddy, but remember, this was at the beginning of their relationship. Not to say that was that long ago, but you remember if you've ever been with someone for the very first time and you're like, especially after being in such a terrible relationship for so long, now you're starting a new love. Now it's getting a little bit more serious. She does mention, though, that he brings her flowers every day, that he has a driver. Louis, why do you need a driver? I'm a little suspect of that. Because if y'all from Jersey, why do you need a driver? I mean, that is goals for me, but I live in New York City. Jersey, wait a second. You guys remember that story that I told about him in the road rage incident? Go check out that video. I'll post it for those that are watching it afterwards. I'll post it. Maybe he doesn't like to drive anymore because of that. I don't know. I don't think he's that rich to have a driver. Like, why do you have a driver, Louis? Okay. Goals. Just say that I'm jealous. I want a driver too. Oh, okay. Let's get back into this. So yeah, he buys her flowers every date. He has a driver, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, so she talks about that, but let's fast forward past all of that because I felt like, okay, are we going to see Louis? Are we going to see Louis in this particular episode? I want to know. If not, it is what it is. So Margaret reads from her book, and this is, of course, is the chapter we've been talking about this entire season where she talks about sleeping with her boss. And one thing I have to say in defense of Jennifer, she does apologize to Margaret, however, does give Margaret some shade and an argument is ensued. But she does apologize to her because she says the way that you said you're telling the story now as opposed to the way you told it before is very different. And I have to agree with Jennifer. She kind of lightly said it. She didn't really share her feelings in that particular moment she felt pressured to sleep with her boss at that moment. But of course, in the book, you get to see that. And her new book is out right now. I mean, I would love to read this book because I love anything New York. And based on what Margaret has shared about her life, there's a lot that I want to know about Jan, about growing up with Marge Sr., and we'll talk about Marge Sr. in a second. So there's a lot. I mean, she really is sort of like our Carrie Bradshaw. I mean, I might be giving it a little too much. Tinsley tried to give us Carrie Bradshaw, but Carrie Bradshaw actually worked. Just saying, Tinsley. I love Tinsley, but Tinsley was a socialite. Carrie Bradshaw wasn't a socialite. She wishes she was, but she wasn't a socialite. She was a working girl that lived in New York City. Just saying. Oh, I love my Sex in the City. I can't wait for And Just Like That coming to HBO Max. So they make amends, but if you've been following Jennifer and Margaret on social media, yeah, that's over. They're still at war and not getting along. It is what it is. One thing I will say in regards to Teresa talking about Louis, anyone else notice that Teresa's voice gets very high pitched when she's either really nervous or I don't know, like her voice completely changed when she was talking about Louis, and I was like, "This is not cute, Teresa. I like your regular voice, even though that's a little annoying." I just noticed it was a difference. So one of the I'll briefly mention this. Jackie visits Melissa at her home, and she tells that Melissa that Teresa told everyone about this new love interest, and Jackie's still digging for more information because Teresa didn't tell us everything. But Melissa, I have to give it to Melissa. She's being a good sister-in-law, and based on the conversation that I had with Femtaro about Teresa's future, it seems like that relationship is actually genuine. But that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, I'll post a link to Teresa's possible future. Just saying. Okay, let's fast forward past all of that. Let's talk about Margaret's conversation with her mom. Like I said, this particular episode really is focused on Margaret, her book, which was great because the book came out this week as well. And this episode is perfect alignment. So she has a conversation with Marge Sr. We don't really get to see Marge Sr. a lot. And we love Marge Sr. When I say we, I'm speaking for all of us. We all love Marge Sr. But we also know that Marge Sr. was a hot mess growing up. She had Margaret at a very young age. And now Margaret is looking back on that relationship and in those years and reflecting into, sometimes she used to wish that her mom was like the other moms, but then she sees the good side of having such a young mom and such a cool mom at the time as well. I can see that. I can see why on some hand she wanted a regular mom, and I can see on another hand, she's like, you know what? I'm kind of glad I had the mother that I had. And I think a lot of us can relate to that in different ways, depending on how you grew up. And I was like, you know what? I get that, Margaret. I get it. And they both got really emotional in the conversation that they're having, and it felt genuine to me. I know a lot of us are so skeptical when we watch these reality shows, specifically New Jersey, but I felt like it was a genuine moment. I thought it was a very, very genuine moment, and like I said, I would read this book. I would read this book. Martina did say that she had her own regrets about how she raised Margaret. And she said, sometimes she also wished that she was like the other mothers. But no, we need Marge Sr. just the way that she is. And I hope next season we get a little bit more of Margaret. Because like I said, this particular season, Margaret was there, but I don't feel like we got Margaret's story. I feel like everything was surrounded around the Judices and the Gorgas as always. And I feel like they got to get away from doing that. And I hope that they do. And Diana, shout out to Diana in the chat, reminding you guys, if you're watching this, be sure to like this video. And if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We will be going live again tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, to talk about some more news in regards to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. People are getting divorced. Some people are being called irrelevant. Some people owe taxes. It's a mess. It's a mess, but it's all right. We'll get into it. The birds and bees conversation with Melissa. You already know how I feel about Melissa and the conversations and her whole storyline situation. I don't believe any of the storylines. Andy Cohen was on Wendy Williams and he was like, they really had a rough patch. Yeah, Andy, you're a producer and you got to make us think that it's real. But then, of course, I did Femtaro, and I believe Femtaro, and we talked a little bit about Melissa and Joe's issues. And she kind of confirmed that their storyline was accurate. TikTok, If you want to know what I'm talking about, head on over to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. We're also live on the Kempire Radio YouTube channel as well. We're live on the Kempire on Facebook, the Kempire on Twitch, the Kempire on Periscope. We're also live on the Kempire Radio Network's Facebook as well. We're live everywhere, y'all. Whew! So don't say you missed it, because we're live everywhere. So let's get okay. So Melissa's conversation with Antonia at Envy, very convenient. Melissa, let me promote my business. It's a cute little store. And based on the outfits that we saw, it looks like she has some good material. But anyways, the conversation was awkward to watch, and I get why. First of all, it probably would have been awkward to watch even if it was off camera. But on camera, you're asking her all these questions. There are probably male cameramen there. She doesn't want to talk about the birds and the bees with you. And Melissa is so awkward talking about these things. It's like, you make it more awkward. Damn it, Melissa. But, I still enjoy Melissa. Like, I don't feel Melissa's on the same level as Robin Dixon of the Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't mind Melissa. And that's probably because she comes along with Joe Gorga. If Juan Dixon probably gave us more in regards to humor, like Juan's cute, Juan's, he's cool, but he doesn't give us a lot in regards to personality on the show. So maybe we would have felt a little bit more different about Robin being a part of the show if we got a little bit more. We don't. So bye, Robin. Anyways. Okay, so can we be done with the birds and bees conversation with Melissa? All right, we'll move on. Let's talk about this Turkish tea party. So the Turkish tea party was really lovely. I grew up, one of my really best friends when I was growing up, his family was Turkish. So anytime I stayed over for dinner, we had Turkish meals and things like that. So seeing Jennifer prepare all of the Turkish treats and food, I was like, this is a throwback. And this was reminding me of that. And it was just really great. It reminds me again that this group of women are very diverse. We get Italian, we get Jewish, and we're getting Turkish. And I thought that was really, really cool to see that, and to see them host this little, get together for the mothers and daughters. And the minute that they said that they were going to do it, I felt awkward for Teresa. And the fact that Teresa said she was going to attend, I was like, oh my God, you're really going to attend? I was like, bring Gia. You know what I mean? Because I felt like if she had brought Gia, then maybe it would have felt a little bit better for her. But she does have a breakdown. And she said the night before she had a lot of anxiety. And I get it. You see everyone there with their moms. And you didn't lose your mother not too long ago. How long ago has it been? Maybe like 5 years since she lost her mom, and she just lost her dad. Another reminder. So I thought it was, really sad, and it was awkward on how she said it. She's like, I feel very uncomfortable. So everyone's thinking like, oh, did we say or do something to make you feel uncomfortable? Like, I felt attacked, but I get what she was trying to say. Look, Teresa's not the best at articulating her words, but she basically she couldn't be in that environment any longer. And we have to remember, we're seeing a snapshot. I'm sure people are like, she was only there for a few minutes. No, she was probably there for a few hours filming and, being involved. And at this point, I get it. I completely get it for Teresa. And, a lot, Melissa said it, and Dolores said it, she lost her mom at such a young age. It was sad to watch, but I expected it. I don't think I would have went. Honestly, I'm like, you're going to have to understand. I probably would have went. I'd be like, all right. But then I probably would have cried seeing everybody share all their stories with their mothers. But then I probably would have also said to them, cherish your mother while she's here, because I lost mine. That's just me. Oh, Lord. All right. That's it, y'all. I'll post the link in the chat if you guys want to call in. But other than that, that's all we had for this particular episode. It was a good episode. There are a lot of different elements to the Real Housewives of New Jersey that we got in this one episode. I feel like Jersey had a really good season. I think they're going to end it strong. I don't know what the reunion will be like. I'm trying to figure out what they're going to be arguing about, because, okay, you're going to bring up the Evan rumors. They've already kind of gotten over that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, okay, I wonder if they're going to examine, where did you hear this rumor from, Teresa? And that's just going to probably cause more drama between her and Jackie. I wonder what Evan's going to say. I kind of already have an idea in my mind what Evan might say in that regard. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it is what it is. In the TikTok chat room, in regards to the Melissa conversation, she should have done it in private. She also says that the conversation should have happened about 3 years ago. Because how old is Antonia? Antonia's like 15? I don't know. Like Melissa, I didn't have the birds and the bees conversation with my parents. Luckily, I'm inquisitive, so you kind of see those conversations in other places. So, I mean, luckily, I definitely think parents should have the birds and bees conversation. But what are you gonna do? Somehow we all make it through without having it. I don't know. We do. How about hold on. Joe, why can't I remember this? How about the wine comment regarding Jen? I don't remember that. The other thing that I remembered in regards to Jen, because backtracking to last week's episode when they had the fight between Jen's father and mother, it seemed cute. Like someone commented when I was watching it live yesterday, saying that was his Turkish way of flirting with the mom, saying for her to go, talking about her belly shirt or something. I was like, really? I mean, he was smiling about it. I don't know. Look, we know it's an arranged marriage, but I think even with an arranged marriage, there was some moment. There was some moment of love, I'm sure. Oh, Jill says Jen was confused if she should serve wine and said she wasn't a drink. Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I'm glad that she didn't drink during this because, the mothers were going to be there. Because I think Jen doesn't know when to stop, right? Because I feel like we always see her when she's drinking, she drinks way too much all the time. And I'm okay with that, but don't fall on your face. Like, I think when you fall on your face, that's just a bit much. I'm just saying. But it was a good episode. I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks. Like I said, I'm not too sure about the reunion because I'm like, what are you guys going to be arguing about? Are we going to talk about Melissa and Joe's relationship? Are we going to be talking about these cheating rumors, but you and Jackie have made peace and you're in a better place? I know we heard that they're going to be asking Teresa. I'm not sure if we're going to see Louis. I know Louis was there. I know they're going to talk about him being in the headlines. Hopefully he's there so we can actually see him react to the headlines and hear and speak. I don't think we've ever heard Louis speak. He hasn't been on the show yet, but I haven't seen any interviews with him online. So not sure what he sounds like. I'm just assuming he sounds like Jersey all day, every day. It is what it is. Diana says, I think with Jen, it's peer pressure and to be a part of the group to fit in. But I also don't feel like the other ladies drink as much as she does. Maybe Melissa does. I don't know. All right, y'all. Be sure to like this video if you haven't liked it already. We will be live again at 9 p.m. Eastern. So set your reminders. We already posted the link. Again, I'm going to share with you the link to my conversation with Femtaro. Let me post that in here. This is Femtaro's reading of Teresa Giudice. So be sure to check that out. Let me see what you guys are saying. All right. Not paid by Monique, who we changed her name last night if you missed it. Good. I would have had coffee then. We have a lot to talk about tonight in regards to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, divorces, people being called irrelevant, tax liens. I was not planning to go live again tonight, but look, when breaking news happens, we got to talk about it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this Real Housewives of New Jersey recap. Let me know if you're watching this afterwards, your thoughts on the latest episode and what you think they're going to talk about for the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. What are we going to talk about? And if there isn't a lot to talk about, they better not make this 3 parts. I can't. No, we don't need 3 parts. We don't. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will be back later on tonight to talk about more news coming out of Atlanta. As if you haven't already, be sure to like this video. And if you haven't followed me on my social media, everything is at TheKempire, as you can see there. All right, everyone, have a great night. Shout out to my mods in the chat. Shout out to Fem Taro's in the building, not paid by Monique. I see quite a few people drop by. Jill, Haley, Rounds was here. Veronica. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. And I will see you in about less than 4 hours. We have a lot to talk about. Again, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out when we have breaking news, when we go live, or when we upload 3 new videos. And that doesn't include the short videos that I post on YouTube. 3 new videos are available right now. One on James Charles, another on the Apple event that happened this week. And I'm also talking about Bethany's new reality show, The Big Shot with Bethany, which is coming to HBO Max. Check those out and let me know what you think on any of the videos that I posted. Have a great evening, and I'll be back in just a few hours.